All right, I think we're live now. So just wait for a couple of people to join in. Right, so we have around 5 people now. Let's just wait for a couple more minutes. So let's let people join. In the meantime, why don't you guys call your friends up and stuff, and tell me in the chat how excited are you guys for college? I'm hoping a lot of you are VITians here. So tell me if you guys are excited for offline, really nervous, scared, whatever. She. All right, we will wait for a few more minutes before starting off. So, let me just introduce myself, guys. I'm Raghav. I'm a member of the inner core team of GDSE, VIT, and today I'm going to be giving you guys a little bit of insight about Solutions Challenge, as to what it is and the prizes and stuff that you have in store. Yeah, so offline exams are going to be deadly. I'm really nervous for that. All right, I think we can start off. All right, so let's head over to the PPT. Can one of you guys add my screen to the thing stream? All right, so I'm hoping my screen is visible, right? Yeah. Okay. So let's start off. So everyone who's present here, welcome to the information session on Solutions Challenge 2022, which is being hosted by the Google Developer Student Clubs. Today, I'm going to be taking you guys through what Solutions Challenge in essence is, the prizes that are in store for the participants, the judging criteria that the judges are going to use, and a lot of other things, right? So let's directly delve into this. So, Solution Challenge was introduced by Google Developer Student Clubs, aiming at giving students an opportunity to create an impact at a global level for building applications to help tackle one or more of the Sustainable Development Goals of the 17 SDGs, which is an acronym for Sustainable Development Goals that was suggested by the United Nations for ending poverty, ensuring prosperity, and to protect the planet. These goals were primarily introduced by the United Nations to help developing countries set targets to achieve. So, we are basically getting an opportunity in this challenge to build applications for helping these developing countries grow. And in essence, that's what Solutions Challenge is. So let me talk about a couple of the goals that are provided. So we have things like no poverty, zero hunger, good health and well-being, quality education, gender equality, clean water and sanitation, and 11 more SDGs that were suggested by Google. You guys can find all of these at the Solutions Challenge website. I'm hoping one of my team members will be putting up the link to the Solutions Challenge website in the chat box. So let me just go over there and give you guys a brief. So you guys can head over to the UN 17 Goals tab to see the 17 different SDGs that are provided by UN. Under each of these, you have a couple of other links which will help you understand the essence of the SDG in detail. You guys can also check out a couple of projects created in the previous solution challenges targeting this SDG. And let me give you guys a little bit more insight. So, if you guys click on the United Nations target for this goal, you guys will be able to see a couple of more detailed explanations as to what this goal entails. So, you guys can see that eradicate extreme poverty around the world. You guys get real time data as to what is happening. And as a result, you guys will be able to find a lot of information related to this. So, before you guys register and all of that, I recommend you guys to go check out each of these goals and decide what goal you guys want to target your application for. So, moving on, let us talk a little bit about the timeline. So, the timeline of the 2022 Solutions Challenge is divided into three phases. The first phase is the registration phase. The second is the phase where you build your application or product. The third is how you're going to submit it and how is your application going to be judged. So let me start by explaining the first phase. That's called the getting started phase. So the first and the primary thing that you're supposed to do is you need to be a part of the Google Developer Student Club. And when I say being a part of Google Developer Student Club, I don't mean that you don't need to be an InnoCore member of a GDSE. You just need to be a member of the community. And joining the community is very, very simple. All you have to do is head over to this particular website. I think one of my team members will be adding the link to the thing to this website on the YouTube chat as well. Just go here. So here you will probably find a button that says join. Make sure you're logged into your Gmail, by the way, because yeah, you need to have a Gmail account to join the community. But yeah, you will probably find a button somewhere around here that says join. Since I'm already a member, the only option I get is to leave the chapter. But yeah, so this is how we join the community. It's a very simple procedure, right? So go ahead and do that first. The next step is to register for the 2022 Solution Challenge by submitting the form. The link of the form also, I'm hoping, would be displayed on the chat box. Okay. So the third step after registering yourself as an individual for Solutions Challenge is to form a team. Now the team maximum size can be of 4 members. So your team can basically vary from 1 member to 4 members. But I'd highly recommend you guys to take in a 4 member team because you guys can distribute your work evenly and have a lot more opinions on the problem statement and come up with a very efficient solution. All right. The fourth step to this solutions challenge is to select a UN SDG. All right. Now, selecting a UN SDG is very crucial because you need to make sure you understand the complete problem that comes with the SDG and also have to come up with a very efficient solution to tackle the SDG. Now, you are welcome to select more than one SDG, obviously, but you need to make sure you at least solve one of the SDGs while submitting your solution. So yeah, that's about the selection of SDG. Now let's move on to the next phase, that is building your application or your product. All right. This phase basically you need to build your application. Now, first step in building an application is to identify the problem and identify a solution for that problem. Now, your SDG gives you your problem statement as to what you're supposed to target. Now, you need to come up with a solution to make sure you eradicate that problem. So, let's say you take up a particular SDG like no poverty, right? Now, I showed you some of the targets in the no SDG goal. You need to pick up one of those targets and see how you can basically overcome that. So, if I were to say eradicate extreme poverty, you need to be able to come up with a technological application that will help eradicate poverty around the world. Remember, the application that you're building is going to be implemented all around the world, right? So make sure you keep these small, important, crucial details in mind while building your application. Now, moving on to step 6, after identifying a solution, you need to build an application to realize your solution. Now, your solution is just an idea that you come up with. You need to be able to implement that idea in the form of a technological application. So you need to build a front-end interface. You need to build a back-end technology or basically an API. You can also add a mobile application to it. You can have machine learning algorithms and models that help you segregate data and all of that. But that's completely up to you. Based on your requirements, you need to build a good application which contains an ample number of features. The seventh step to the Solutions Challenge 2022 is testing your solution. Now, make sure you use real time data to test your solution. All of this kind of data can again be found on the Solutions Challenge website itself. When you see each of those little SDGs, all of the data is given there. Make sure you test your solution with that kind of data, because ultimately your application is going to be used in real time by actual users. So make sure your solution is tested and is bug free. If you come across any bugs, don't be disheartened. I mean, it is a part of the process. So find a fix for that bug. Again, test your solutions. And at the end of the day, come up with a really bug free and a good application. The next phase of your solutions challenge is submissions and judging. How do you submit your application? The first way, the first thing you need to do to submit your application is to record a demo video and submit it by March 31st of 2022. Now, this demo video, make sure it's for a maximum length of 2 minutes, right? 2 minutes is the maximum length of the demo video. And basically, what the demo video is supposed to talk about is how the user will interact with the UI of your application, right? So, you need to talk about the different features that your application offers. And like, you don't have to delve into the details like the tech stack and all of that. You just need to ensure you display, like, you show how a user will interact with the application and what kind of users that your application particularly targets. Like, if you're ending no poverty, you need to make sure how the poor people of the society interact with your application and more of that, right? Now, after your first initial submissions on March 31st, the top 50 solutions all around the world will be announced in the mid of April. Now, these 50 solutions were considered to be the best amongst all submitted, right? These 50 solutions will undergo mentoring by the Google developers themselves. So they will help you further your application and like make sure you can like deploy it in the real world, this thing scenario. They will help you to upscale your application in such a way that like you add a lot more features and help make it like a real world thing, and like yeah, help you basically build over what your application is. Coming from that part, they're going to then select top 10 final teams, right? Now, these 10 final teams get to pitch their product in front of all the developers around the world. And the best part about it is you're going to be live on YouTube from the Google Developer Student Club channel itself. It's going to bring you a lot of recognition, and it's an absolutely wonderful opportunity for a lot of participants. Now, from the top 10 teams, three winners are going to be chosen and announced on the YouTube Live in the month of July. And at the end, they're going to celebrate all the participants. I mean, everyone's done an amazing job. So, yeah, which will mark the end of Solutions Challenge 2022. So, going ahead, let's talk about the most interesting thing. What prizes are in store to be grabbed by the participants? All right. So, top 50 teams. Okay, firstly, all the participants who submit a project will receive a Google Developers Digital Profile Badge, which carries some kind of weight and also an official certificate from GDSE. Apart from that, the top 50 teams will receive customized mentorship from Googlers and experts to take solutions to the next level. Along with that, you'll also get a branded t shirt and a certificate. The top 10 finalists from there will receive additional mentorship, a swag box, and the opportunity to showcase your solution to Googlers and developers all around the world at the demo day live on YouTube. In addition to all of that, each team member will also receive a prize of $1,000 per student. Now, the top three winners. In addition to swag boxes, each individual team from the top three will win a cash prize of $3,000 and a feature on the Google Developers blog. Now, this is a lot of money for takes. So, guys, yeah, this is an absolutely wonderful opportunity for everyone here. Moving on, let us see the judging criteria. Now, this is very important with respect to building your application, because keeping in mind as to what you'll be judged on is very essential when you create an application, especially for a contest like this. So, there are basically two major categories under which you're going to be judged. One is impact and the other is technology. So, to give you a gist about impact, impact basically talks about how your application is helping to solve the particular SDG that you've chosen, and like how well are you able to provide to that SDG. So these are the bifurcations for this particular for this particular criteria. The second important criteria is technology. That talks about the tech stack you've used. They're going to basically see if your tech stack complements your application. So let's say you choose a particular solution, they will basically see if the features implemented by you complement your tech stack. You could have chosen, so let's say you're choosing a front-end framework like React or Vue or whatever. They'll basically see if the application you've built complements that particular framework. And that's what technology talks about. Now you guys can again check out all these points on the Solutions Challenge website. They've been displayed publicly there under the FAQ session. So section. So you guys can go check out all of these details there. But like I'd request you guys to go through this once properly before you guys start building your application, because I don't know, I just find it very important to remember what you're going to be judged on when you're building your application. All right. And also, in addition to that, this will also give you guys a little bit more insight as to what they expect of you as participants. Moving on, self-paced code labs. All right. This is the fun part. Now, a lot of you guys here, I'm assuming, might be new to this whole concept of development and you have no idea what I'm talking about. Like the previous few slides might have been a little bit like intimidating for you guys maybe, right? But if you guys are new to this, do not be afraid, because Google provides you with like really good resources. They're providing you with self-paced code labs which will help you guys basically build your way through that particular technology. So let's say you want to build a particular mobile application for your solution. Let's say you want to use Flutter. All you have to do is go to the particular pathway, and then you can just learn your way through Flutter, experiment with it, all of that, and ultimately build your application with it. Now the link to this pathway or code lab will also be put in the chat box, I'm hoping soon, by one of my team members. But yeah, so like there are a lot of code labs that you guys can use. The best part about all of this is free content, guys. Like make the best use of it because it's absolutely free from Google. And these actually, it like I I learned Firebase from this, like using these code labs, and they're very informative also. So yeah, I'd urge you guys to go and check these out also in case you don't know any of these. Also, one important thing I would like to mention is in Solutions Challenge, you are required to use at least one Google product. Like you use either Firebase for hosting your applications, you can use Flutter for building in a mobile application, you can use Google Cloud to deploy your application or more, right? So you guys need to keep in mind that at least one Google product has to be used with your application. Apart from that, you can use any tech stack you're free to work with. Like you're free to work with anything else, but make sure you use at least one Google product. Moving on, the design sprint kit. Okay, now again, coming back to people who are new to this, building a project from scratch can be quite intimidating, right? But again, Google has you covered there also. They have designed a specific thing called a design sprint kit. What this design sprint kit basically helps in is it helps the freshers get a basic stepping stone kind of guide to building your own product. So it talks about the different elements that goes into building your product and how you can basically get your way into a successful product. Now, a lot of this might not be, you might not understand it initially, but as you keep doing it, you guys will get a good hang of it. And trust me, it's a very helpful tool to have. It will make sure that you stay on the right path. And like, if you ever get confused here and there, it'll help you get back on the path right away. Moving on, tutorial videos. Now, again, Google offers quite a few tutorial videos for Solutions Challenge. You can go through these to get an idea of how you build your product, what kind of product you build, what they expect from you as participants, and just help you get a complete understanding of Solutions Challenge in a sense of itself, right? So all of this again can be accessed on the website here. Just go ahead to resources. If you come down here, you'll see a lot of the intro videos. You'll see past Solution Challenge event videos. You'll see the design sprint, what I talked about in the previous slide. You'll also find a link to the code labs available. And again, you'll learn a lot more from here. Going back, excuse me. Let's move on to the next slide.
As technologists in our last video.
Okay, sorry about that. All right, so now one of the few Google products that aren't free. Oh, by the way, guys, the Google products that I mentioned before are completely free to use, right? Like Flutter, Firebase, and all of that are free to use. Now, one of the few Google products that are not free to use is GCP. That's basically Google Cloud Platform. And to use Google Cloud Platform, you'll basically need credits, which under normal circumstances you'll have to buy by paying some amount of money. But for Solutions Challenge, you guys can get free Google credits, and this is how you do it. So the first basic obvious thing that you need to do is register for yourself at Solutions Challenge, and make sure in the form when you're filling it up, there will probably be a prompt to like asking you if you want to use Google Cloud for your solution. Make sure you tick that. I would recommend all you guys to tick it because like when you plan out your particular solution, you don't really think of what products you're going to use. You just think of an idea. But later on, you might want to use Google Clouds. And that time, if you don't have your Google Cloud credits in hand with you, you won't be able to use it. So I'd recommend you all to go ahead and tick it, right? Yeah, so that's the first step. Next thing, review your country's eligibility for cloud credits in that particular document. I think the document will be uploaded again in the YouTube chat box. So I can safely tell you guys that India is applicable, like it is eligible for free Google Cloud credits. But in case we have any international participants here, international people attending the session, and you want to check your if your particular country is eligible for Google Cloud credits, go ahead to that document and check it out, right? I hope the document has been put up on the YouTube chat. But yeah, I think they'll do it soon. Anyway, also guys, if you don't have any of these links, I'll let you guys I'll fill you guys in on that later. So the next step is to form a team with around 4 students maximum. Yeah, so that's your maximum capacity for a team. In early February, we will send an email with instructions on how to request and redeem your Google credits. Now, I know it's a little bit towards the late February, but do not fret. Like, register yourself for Solutions Challenge, and within a couple of like 2 to 3 days, you'll probably get an email from them asking you to redeem your Google Cloud credits. Now, these are the important points to keep in mind. Please make sure only one person from your team fills out that Google Cloud redemption form, because if multiple people like from this team try and redeem these Google Cloud credits for free, you will be disqualified from using Google Cloud itself because they don't want to keep giving out free credits too, right? I mean, yeah. Now, in case you guys choose to use GCP, but you guys have never used GCP before and like want a helping hand to it, there are additional resources provided. Again, the links to these resources will be provided in the chat box. In case they're not provided in the chat box, you can always feel free to reach out to us on a Telegram channel and a Discord server for these links, and we'll be happy to provide you with that. Okay, moving on. Let me take you guys to the website. So this is the official website of the Solutions Challenge 2022. I would like you guys to see that there are a lot of tabs. So these talk about the ones I've already spoken about. These are this is the challenge basically. You can come here, register yourself. There the timelines here for the event. The 17 SDGs are there. The resources are there. The demo day tab talks about basically the previous year demo day. You guys can go through this to if you're like losing out on motivation, you guys can go through this to see what were the teams building last year and all of that. You can also go to the past winners and see their projects. I think you will get, so these are the pitches for the last year's projects. I think you guys can just click on one of these projects and probably go and see the GitHub repos and all of that to get a better understanding of what projects were built last year. Apart from that, these are the two main tabs that I would urge you guys to read before registering yourselves. The terms and conditions, firstly, are very important because they talk about your eligibility of being a part of this competition. Now, obviously, all college students and members of college institutions are eligible to take part, but please make sure you guys go through this to understand the other terms and conditions that are there. There is a lot of crucial information here that I might have missed out in my PPT, but this basically covers all of it. It's fairly long, but a lot of the points are well highlighted, and also it's not like one of those old documents that you will have to go and just read through and break your head. It's very well organized. So yeah, that and the FAQ session is another must read for you for everyone who's going to be taking part, because there are certain questions that you might not have thought of initially, but are absolutely essential to know the answer to. Like, let's say you have a question like this, like, can one student or team submit multiple submissions if they've contributed? Obviously not. You only like a person can take part only from one team. So yeah, there are a lot of other questions like this which are there in our FAQ. I'd like you guys to just go through this probably and you know make sure have all your questions answered. So going back to the slideshow, right? Now coming towards the end of it, you guys are always free to reach out to us on our Telegram channel and Discord server. So these are the links to it. I'm hoping another member of my team would again drop these links on the YouTube chat. You guys have any doubts related to solutions challenge or anything, like if you have a bug in your code and you don't know how to solve it, you can drop a message on our Telegram channel, and like a member of our team will automatically help you out with it. Apart from that, if you have any other questions related to college or anything in general as a community, you guys can feel free to reach out to us. We'll be very much happy to help you guys out with it. And that's about it. Yeah, I guess. We are really excited to see what you guys have in store for us, and I hope you guys build some amazing products and make yourselves proud. This is an amazing opportunity, guys, and I request you guys not to miss out on it. Um but that's about it. So I hope you all have a good day. If you guys have any questions, you guys can feel free to like drop it in the YouTube chat, and a member of my team will answer. It's an amazing opportunity, guys, for everyone to take part, because even if you don't qualify into the top 50, you are basically building your product, and it is an amazing platform to start off your development journey with, right? So go ahead and register yourself for this, participate, do your best, and hope for the best. You never know; you might actually end up in one of the top 50, doing an amazing job without you realizing it. So yeah, that's about it. So that's about it from my end. If you guys have any questions, drop it in the comment section. I'll wait for around 2 to 3 minutes. So yeah, that's about it. Thank you, whoever that was. One ordinary. All right then. Seeing no more questions, I think we can end this session. Thank you guys. Have a good day. Hope to see you at the events and of future events too. Bye bye.